Hello everybody, we're back in the garage again. We've just finished bleeding the caliper on the CG125, so that video should be up already. And as promised, we're moving over to the back of the vehicle. We're going to take the chain off and then the wheel, and then we're going to sort of take the sprockets off and investigate the brakes and see what's what. So at the moment, Kieran has the little chain breaker tool.
I think we've just got that first pin out. That's 50% of the job done on this one. Just unwind on that.
Cool. The chain is now broken. So Kieran's going to remove that, I think, hopefully. Ooh. This chain, by the way, is cream crackered.
It's exceeded its wear limit.
I think
in stretch.
It's had its day. It's more than stretched, and I'm not sure it was ever really properly maintained. So I'm just going to replace that.
Shiny, obviously.
Right, next steps then. We're going to remove the rear wheel. I'm not going to get too in depth with how to do all of this.
It's probably in another video.
Until it gets a bit more interesting. We're going to take the wheel off then and have a look at the sprocket. The front sprocket is behind here, so that's just a case of removing that bolt and one right down there. And I have actually done that on this bike already and just put it back in disgust because it's gross behind there, so I might show you that in a bit. But for now, rear wheel. The rear wheel is absent. We have removed that. Just having a look under the front sprocket cover, and it's pretty grimy down here. Check out all this, and if I go even lower still, there's like some kind of living entity. Do you remember those things that they found in the sewer that kind of have their own little
greasy mud slug,
pulsating life?
A fatberg.
I think I've got one on this bike, look. So needless to say, this whole area needs cleaning up, and we're going to replace the front sprocket, and we'll go over and have a look at the wheel and the rear sprocket. Over at the wheel end then, brought it out into the light. You can see it is dirty, really rather dirty. It's not absolutely terrible, but it's starting to look a little bit pointy. And as I'm replacing the chain and the front sprocket anyway, I think it just makes sense to do the whole lot. Kieran's got his finger in that dirty hole. What are you feeling for, Kieran?
See if there's any excess play, any movement within that bearing that would suggest that it is worn out.
How's it feeling?
But it feels reasonably good. Yeah, I might come here again.
And there's one around the other side to check as well, isn't there?
Yep.
Okay, let's do that. Right, we've flipped the wheel over onto the other side, and as you can see, the brake
cook pot.
Yeah, so we've got the brake shoes there. What do we think, Kieran?
There still seems to be a decent amount of material on there, so certainly serviceable.
Yeah, I think for now you're right. I think they might be serviceable. So try and clean those up. You can measure the thickness of this friction material, and there's a wear limit which will be in the Haynes manual. I don't know what that is off the top of my head, but for now, yeah, I think that's probably alright. In here, Kieran's got his finger in another dirty hole.
Well, if you're going from one end, you might as well go in from the other.
Yeah. So we're going in at both ends. How's that one feel?
Pretty similar. There is that very slight resistance, but in terms of...
Yeah.
It seems pretty
There's no
sturdy.
play, but just perhaps a little bit stiffer than we might have liked. How's the sort of drum itself looking? Again,
Bit drummy.
not too bad. We'll clean it out and see how we feel. Incidentally, the tyre looks like brand new. It's a V-rubber something or other. What is it? V84, I think it said.
A rubbish tyre.
Yes, a V-Rubber VR84. It's 3 years old, but it looks like it's not done any miles. But needless to say,
we don't want to particularly do any miles on it.
no, I think I will change that for something that I can feel like I can rely on. But if anybody wants to buy a perfectly good V-Rubber VR84, it will be available shortly in a bin near you. Just taking the rear sprocket off. There were 4 nuts, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a circlip thing which was round there, so just remove that. It should just come off now.
Ta-da!
Ready to be replaced, and all this junk in here can be cleaned up at the same time. Ooh, what's that on that side?
It's an extra sort of frictiony type spacer thing.
And that was on the...
That was underneath the circlip.
Alright.
Sorry, the circlip was on top of this, keeping it all pressed down.
Okay, cool. Cheers. Right, cool. We've cleaned that up a little bit. It's not perfect,
What a difference a wire brush makes.
but it's alright. We've had a good look at the wheel bearing in there. On this side, that all seems fine. I took the dust seal out of that, just to clean that up as well. So we'll put a bit more grease in there, put that back. The little stud things here that the nuts are attached to, they just pull straight out, so we've cleaned those off a little bit as well. And yeah, I think we need to perhaps go and order some stuff, get some sprockets ordered, get a chain ordered. We'll go and have a look at the front sprocket now and see what that's like. Now we're cleaning up on the other side of the wheel. So this is where the brake shoes live, and here they are. We've kind of cleaned that a little bit. Just measured the thickness of the friction material there. It should be about 4mm when it's new, and you should replace it when it gets down to 2mm. And these here are 3mm, so we're about halfway through the life of the brake shoes. So for now, I think they're okay. We'll get some more use out of them. There's no point replacing them when they're only halfway through, so that's good. We've measured the diameter inside here, and that is within tolerance. There's not really any wear on that at all, so that's good. Anything else to add to that?
It's a bit chilly.
It's a bit chilly. Do you want a cup of tea?
That might be a good idea.
Alright, well, let's have a little break then. We're back over here then, and we're taking off the front sprocket. As you can see, the 2 bolts are partly out. What we did to get some purchase on that was just wrap the chain back around, and Kieran just held the chain while I wound the bolts out with the socket and the ratchet and the what's it there. So if you would be so kind, Kieran, as to remove that. Let's see what comes off and in what order.
Well, that cover should just need a slight turn to disengage it from said spindly thing, and then with chubby rubber hands that should just come off, and in kind should the sprocket.
Cool. There's our Ninja Star.
Got a fine enough bandsaw. You could obviously put that into a few slices, and as you say, Ninja Star your evening away.
Cool. Right, so front sprocket to order, rear sprocket to order, chain to order.
Tub of ice cream.
Some cleaning to be done. What's happening now then? What have we just removed? All of that gubbins is down there. We're just taking the chain guard off. We are now removing the suspension units, left and right, and then after that we're going to go down here and attempt to get the swing arm out. Woo, that's exciting, isn't it? So what were they? They were 14s,
yeah.
Top and bottom, so there's a 14 nut, then a washer, then a suspension unit, and then another washer, same top and bottom. Remember to put those back in the right order, because the amount of bikes that I've had to do that with, where they've got 2 washers on this side and none on this side, or no washers at all, it's just dangerous, people.
What's the potential hazards there, John?
Well, potential hazards is your suspension unit's just going to whang off while you're riding, and then all the associated potential dangers of that. So yeah, washer, unit, another washer, nut, top and bottom. Don't forget. There are the suspension units then, and as you can see, they are a bit grimy and horrible. So try and clean those up at some point and decide what to do with those. I think they're probably alright. It's probably just aesthetically a bit awful, but
I mean, they could make a fetching pair of earrings, John.
Yeah, they could do. So anyway, we'll clean them up, see how they are. As we're doing just a budget thing, I'm happy enough if they're a bit ugly as long as they work. So with those removed, you can see the swinging arm quite clearly, just going up and down there. In there, as also looks a bit gnarly. So we're going to try and take this off and investigate properly and decide what to do. Kieran does sometimes find himself in awkward and unusual places, and this is one of them.
It's just good for me hide and seek practice.
What you got over there then, boss?
I have myself a 22mm socket on this end. We've got the nut over this side, so we're going to have to withdraw that way, thankfully.
Over this side is a 17, and you can see I've got the breaker bar on it, so we're going to give it a go. Watch this space. All of that's undone then. You can see that this has started to come out this side, so I'm just going to pull this out. Kieran's got hold of the swing arm back there, I think. So if we just go woo-wee and pull that out, we'll see what happens. Ooh, what is happening?
It might be a case of there being some spaces or something, but I think a little bit of wiggling.
It's coming, it's coming. She's coming, look, there she is. Excellent work, sir.
Some rubbery bits there.
Rubbery bits. Right, well, there we are. The swing arm's off. So for now, we're going to conclude because I have to go to work. Kieran has to go to work. So we're going to call it a day at that and investigate this soon. Coming soon to a screen near you.